It is finally revealed, guys. Yes, Captain John also was a user of the JIKI JIKI no Mi, the magnet fruit. I said it, I was right, I called it, that Captain John had the magnet fruit. Yes, I did. And thank you guys for 1.6k views on that recent video. Guys, I even gained plus 26 subscribers. I was at 222 and now I'm at 234, I believe, if I remember correctly. Thank you guys. You guys are so supportive. I love you guys, man. You guys don't have to watch kid videos. Trust me. But it's obvious that we have kid fans in the building. They ain't wait. But let's talk about it, boy. All right. So Captain John has the JIKI JIKI no Mi. One Piece, 1163. We all started off with Captain John asking his crewmate if they collected all the treasure. And he was like, okay, cool. We get to see who? Dragon running with baby Shanks. And then he gets pulled. We see some electric sparks on his gun. And then we get to see all the treasure flying. And then we get to see everyone's weapons being pulled. And then we get to see Scoper Gaban trying to hold his weapons. He's doing incline press flies, bro. He's getting a good workout in. He's trying to pull in, and Captain John keep pulling him back. No wonder why his chest so big, bro. No wonder why his traps so wide. He got that workout in. And then Captain John said, Big Eater. Big Eater? What are you saying? And then we got this beautiful spread of Captain John saying, come to me, my treasure. We got to see all the weapons. We got to see all of the gold, the treasure, and everything flying towards him. His magnetic pull is so strong. We can see in the panel how all of the treasure are flying towards him. And then we got probably a father speaking, talking about how it's coming from the southeast division of the island, the southeast, or like this part of the island. So Captain John's very far away and he has this magnetic pull? Come on, man. Stop playing with Captain John. But then he gets defeated. Well, I won't say defeated. I'd say bombed. He got bombed. And no, I'm not coping. If we get to see Captain John get back up and get his get back at Ganzui, we be straight, all right? But anyway, other than that, his magnetic pull is amazing. Captain John is obviously the definition of greed. His move, Big Eater, it's in the name itself. He's basically pulling in all of the treasure, the metal, whatever the case may be. He's consuming the treasure. That's the name of it. And then the kanji is big magnetic grasp, but Big Eater, he's consuming all of the treasure for himself. So that's like, I like that. I like that name, and the pull is so strong. Even the trees are getting pulled away and stuff. You can see the electrical sparks on the trees and whatnot. His magnetic pull is great. The way he uses his fruit and everything, and like I really like it. It's not the way that Kid uses his fruit though. You know what I mean? Like, the very first time we ever got to see Kid use his fruit in Sabaody, he made a big, gigantic arm. He was repelling, cannonballs to fodder and all that other stuff. And when I remember in the anime, too, I love the way the anime did it. They did, like, a filler fight for the Pacifista. I'll say it's canon. It was really cool the way he did. But the way Kid used the fruit in the anime, I'll say in the anime, when the Pacifista threw a light beam at him, he absorbed the light beam. That was really cool. He absorbed the light beam with his metal arm. He was repelling the thing. And then there was another scene in the Sabaody arc, and when he was like basically breaking the particles, the lightning, the particles of the light, he was spreading it apart. It was really cool. I like the way he did that. You know what I mean? And we get to see Kid create like huge, like Gollum magnetic arm the way he did Punk Gibson on the pool. We saw him create this huge gigantic Gollum. Punk Rotten, Punk Vice. He was able to use the strength of his Punk Rotten to lift up Kaido and slam him. He was able to create like these pistols, these arrow pistols. And he was able to create like this box defibrillator and a way to trap Zeus. We've seen him use a sign, the way he used a sign, making Big Mom into this gigantic magnet, basically pulling all the steel beams and the weapons and everything towards her so he can basically crush her to death. He created a gigantic mechanical bull. Awakening, he's able to use the South Pole and the North Pole of the, you know what I mean? Like, Kid got some sauce. And ultimately, he created this huge railgun that I theorized, and it was correct. That was one of the greatest days of my life. I'm not gonna lie, right? When he created the railgun, his damned Punk, like the way Kid uses his fruit is really saucy, but people don't want to recognize it, you know? So they use their devil fruits in two different ways. We can see that. We can honestly say that Captain John, when he uses his devil fruit, he uses it in a way to consume treasure, to draw in all the treasure. He probably was the treasure holder on the crew for the Rocks Pirates, or I would say if there was a lot of treasure like surrounding the island or something like that, I would say Captain John, like Rocks would be like, John, and Captain John was already, he was already drinking a beer or whatever, not, or some booze, and he'd be like, all right, Rocks, don't worry about it, I got you. And he would be the one to like carry all the treasure because of his JIKI JIKI no Mi. He was the only one that could carry treasure. You know what I mean? So I like the way Captain John uses the fruit. It really makes sense since he's a greedy person when it comes to treasure. It honestly makes sense. Sad to say, we don't know how Captain John fights with the JIKI JIKI no Mi. We did get to see him, I think in chapter 1160, if I remember correctly. We did see him with a metal arm. You know, the way Kid and him compares with like when it comes to metal arm, they make metal arms the same way, honestly. You know, so I would say yes, he does fight with a metal arm. We got to see him in a very small panel using the metal arm in this same position, this pose right here. But it was like a little tiny panel with the rest of the Rocks Pirates, and like they were just attacking, but we didn't really get to see. Maybe he was repelling the fodder up weapons back to them, like cannonballs or gunshots, whatever the case may be, or maybe he was attracting all the metal away from them so Kyo or Shiki or the rest of the Rocks Pirates can be able to fight these guys without them attacking from behind because they don't know hockey and stuff. We don't know how he uses it, but he was able to make a metal arm. So he possibly has maybe the same fighting style as Kid. Who knows? Sadly to say, like, he got bombed by Gonzui. So him getting bombed by Gonzui is kind of like, it was kind of anticlimactic. I'd say, well, that's it, you know, but he's a drunk. Like, he was literally drinking. When we first saw him talking to his crew, asking, did you guys gather all the treasure? You know what I mean? He was only focused on consuming, like drawing in all the treasure. So that's all he really cared about. You know what I mean? So like, and he was drinking. Like, dude, you're in a battlefield right now, Captain John. Like, you shouldn't be holding a bottle of liquor in your hand whilst trying to consume treasure. Did you not think somebody was gonna attack you whilst you're trying to get all these treasure? Like, how gullible and stupid can you be? Like, no, seriously, that kind of actually pissed me off just now. Like, come on, dog. Like, why would you do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, what if he has a drunk fighting style? Because he drinks a lot. But will we even see that? Like, I really hope next chapter, at least in the next couple chapters, at least give us the same amount of panels as you did with him collecting the treasure and whatnot. That was at least, I'd say, probably like 2.5 pages. At least next chapter, give us something like that, Oda. Like, seriously, can you at least give us something like that, please? I know you're not gonna see this video, so I'm basically talking to myself, but can you at least give us like 2.5 chapter where Captain John gets back up and he probably like, "You bastard, how dare you attack me?" And then he starts drinking glug glug again, and then Gonzui probably flicks more than one booger at him, and then Captain John probably like all woozy and whatnot, all drunk, and dodges all of them, and probably uses like a huge gigantic like metal arm or something, or probably he creates like this big gigantic like ball spike of wood metal, or a big gigantic ball of just scrap metal, and just repels it back at Gonzui or something, you know what I mean? So we could get to see like what he actually do. I really hope this isn't the end of Captain John. I personally don't believe it's the end of Captain John, and the only reason why I say that, just because he got bombed and you see him like with his mouth open, his tongue wide open. Luffy got bombed by a pool and he got back up seconds later. Big Mom got bombed when she got damned bunked by Kid, and then she grabbed the bomb to try to stop herself from being damned, literally, no pun intended. And then, you know what I mean, she got bombed, and there was smoke out of her mouth, smoke all around her, and coughing out smoke with white eyes. You know what I mean? And bombs always been effective in One Piece, no matter who the person is. So I really don't think it's the end of Captain John, to be real with you. I honestly found it interesting. Like I said before, he created a metal arm. Kid creates a metal arm too. You know what I mean? It just makes me think, is Captain John from the South Blue? I don't think everybody from the South Blue are engineers, but you know, Frankie's from the South Blue, and he honestly creates stuff from the dome too. Captain John was able to create a perfect, you know, mechanical arm, just like how Kid's mechanical arms looks. You know what I mean? So it just makes me think like, I'm not doing 6'7", no, I'm not. So it just makes me think like, is he from the South Blue too? And that could honestly confirm even more that Captain John is Kid's dad. Like, I don't think this defeat makes him look, just because it's his defeat, Kid's already above Captain John. Like, Kid was able to defeat a Yonko along with Law. With the whole alliance, he was able to defeat a Yonko. Got 3 billion berries bounty. He defeated a Sweet Commander. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was able to get road poneglyphs and stuff. Kid's resume right now at 23 years old is higher than Captain John's. Seriously. You know what I mean? They're not comparison. And the things that Kid does with his devil fruit and stuff like that, whatever the case may be, they can't be compared. Like, out of all pure honesty. But I'm just wondering, like, if he's from the South Blue as well. Like, I really wish we got to see how he fought, but, well, I guess we won't. But I do have another thing I want to say. So, what I was thinking, right? There was someone who was affected by Captain John's power. This person is currently on Elbath. This person that is currently on Elbath fighting a Holy Knight that's fought Holy Knights that are currently in this God Valley flashback. That person is Gaban. Gaban. Big Mom and Kaido didn't mention the fact that Kid had Captain John's devil fruit. They know Captain John had the JIKI JIKI No Mi. They saw the way Kid used the JIKI JIKI No Mi, collecting scrap metal and everything. He didn't even have to collect scrap metal, honestly speaking. He's using the JIKI JIKI No Mi right in front of you, especially Big Mom. Big Mom, you literally saw him get the JIKI JIKI No Mi. Could you imagine at the end of God Valley, where all the rocks pirates separate and all that stuff, Big Mom even mentions like, frick, and dang it, and Captain John took all the treasure too, didn't he? With his stupid fruit, with his stupid power or something. But then you don't mention it while you fight Kid. You fought Kid the most. Bro, when Kaido landed on Kid's private hideout, Kid fought Kaido. And you trying to tell me you never tried to mention that you had Captain John's devil fruit? Either Big Mom and Kaido are retarded, or Oda just went along with it and just said, all right, Captain John, have Kid's fruit too. Literally. Because that's the only thing I can honestly think of, bro. The fact that they didn't mention it is weird. But let's go back to Scoper Gaban. I believe Scoper Gaban is going to mention the fact. I believe Kid is going to be here. Yo, they're fighting. We're seeing Emu's power right now in God Valley. We saw how Roger, Whitebeard, Rocks, Big Mom, Kaido, like, am I missing somebody? Roger, Guard, the six. The Flying Six of God Valley. I'm sorry. No. Don't slander me. I'm just calling them the Flying Six because that name sounds way better than the actual Flying Six. Those gosh darn trash fodder people. You know what I'm saying? But those six was able to do all that to Emo, and Emo, nothing happened. Literally. Like seriously, nothing happened. So, Kid's gonna come back to Elbaf. He's gonna be on Elbaf. He's gonna be either extremely injured or he was already saved and he was recovering or whatever the case may be. One Piece logic, no one cares, right? But Kid's gonna be in Elbaf. You're gonna need elite Conqueror Haki users. Kid's gonna learn. I believe Kid's gonna learn Advanced Conqueror's Haki in Elbaf. Haki blooms in the heat of a battle. It's older story. He can do whatever he wants. Literally, I'm not even gonna lie. You're gonna need Zoro. You're gonna need Luffy. You're gonna need Scoper Gaban. Right now, Loki. And the fifth Conqueror right now that's on Elbaf is Kid. You're gonna need Kid. So whether you believe it or not. But like I was saying before, Scoper Gaban is gonna see Kid. And I'm pretty sure Scoper Gaban, when Kid probably uses his magnetism and trying to get metal to do something, Scoper Gaban is gonna be like, probably grabbing again, or Zoro and stuff gonna be grabbing their metal and stuff, trying to hold on to it because of Kid's power. And then probably Scoper Gaban is like, dang it, isn't that Captain John's Devil Fruit? How did you get that? Or he'd be like, dang it, I hate that power of the JIKI JIKI no Mi. Captain John was really annoying being around Captain John when trying to use my axes or something like that. He could mention it and it would be really cool. I think it would be really cool and it would make total sense, bro. Like seriously, it would make sense. You know what I mean? And I like the fact that, like, also, here's another thing I like. I like the fact that, not Scoper, but when Captain John used Big Eater, it changed Shanks's life. Dragon was about to go to the Navy ship to give the Navy Shanks. Shanks probably would have just returned back to the Celestial Dragons. Returned back to Garland. Right? But it changed Shanks' life. Isn't it poetic that the JIKI JIKI no Mi, the user of the JIKI JIKI no Mi, that saved baby Shanks' life, then later on in his grown years, he defeats the current user of the JIKI JIKI no Mi? Ain't that funny? Because if it wasn't for Captain John using his Big Eater attack, pulling in Dragon dropping Shanks, and then when the treasure chest fell everywhere, Shanks crawled towards the treasure chest. Sorry, stuttering. When he crawled near the treasure chest, it saved his life. But then he defeats the current user of the JIKI JIKI no Mi. That's hilarious, ain't it? Very cute, very hilarious. But it saved Shanks' life. Like, it really changed his life. It saved him and it changed it. It changed the directory of life. It's like a butterfly effect. You move a rock when you go back to time, and all of a sudden something big happens. You're a millionaire now. You have a whole family. But what? I was broke in the past. Like, what the heck happened? You know what I'm saying? But yo, I just find it, like, I like the way Captain John used the fruit, by the way. That Big Eater, I like it. I liked it. You know what I mean? It's like he even magnetized, like his magnetism was so strong. You even saw like electricity on the trees. You saw electricity everywhere. It's like his whole body started sparking up too. And it was like that beautiful shot of like all the treasure coming towards him. And then you see all the treasure in that little tiny panel where the father was talking about it's coming from the entrance of God Valley. It's like, dang, how strong is your magnetic pull, bro? Gosh darn, that was really cool. You know what I mean? I don't believe it's the end of Captain John. I think he got more to go. I hope he gets back up and do something. You know, I hope we get to see him fight. I like this ability that he used, Big Eater. And you know what I realized too? I remember I said this in my past video on how if Captain John were to use his devil fruit, he could draw all the treasure. But I also mentioned like if the treasure had like copper or silver or gold and stuff, it might not attract, because in real life terms, magnetism can't just pull anything that's not metal. But he was able to pull anything, like any element. It's like he pulled in all the elements. It didn't matter to him. So like his magnetic pull was extremely strong. And I said it in the last video too, One Piece logic, Oda could do whatever he wants. And like in this chapter, Oda literally did whatever he wanted. Like think about it, like seriously, you know what I mean? So if he was able to like just control the metal and all the elements, just like that, copper, silver, gold, and what's in these treasure and stuff, probably diamonds and all that stuff, all of that was being able to draw near him. Who knows how strong Captain John truly is? You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, I hope he's really not done for. You know, I used the Luffy case and I used the Big Mom case when they got hit by bombs or explosions. They got back up. I hope Captain John gets back up and attacks Gonzui and we get to see what he can do. You know, I like the Big Eater attack, but you know what I mean? I hope it's like, I hope he does something more. Like I said, it could just be like just one page alone of just him doing something would be fine. Oda can do that, but I feel like probably next chapter we might just get a rocks focus chapter, honestly. But I really wouldn't mind that either. But at the same time, I feel like rocks isn't the only thing that you can really focus on next chapter. Of course, it's because I do want to see Captain John do something. But even like Gloriosa, the rest of the Rocks pirates, we don't even get to see what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I find it like pretty. Oh, another thing I noticed was like Gonzui was about to like snake Shiki as well. Gonzui was about to snake Shiki, booger bombed him as well. And Shiki, it just cut away. We didn't get to see if Shiki was about to get bombed, but Shiki looked really like spooked, like what the heck? You know what I mean? He was already on the verge of throwing it. Maybe Shiki gets bombed too, or Shiki dodges and they about to fight, and then John then jumps in to attack Gonzui for trying to beat him. You know what I mean? I'd love to see that though. But guys, I'm really happy. This was a good chapter. I love the chapter. I read the entire chapter. This is big. This only goes to show, like, think about it. This God Valley flashback right now is happening in Elbaf. Loki's telling this story. Captain John, the person of the JIKI JIKI no Mi. Scoper Gaban, someone who's affected by the JIKI JIKI no Mi. The JIKI JIKI no Mi's user, Captain John, basically saved Shanks, not intentionally, but unintentionally, he saved Shanks. All of that right now, but then again, Captain Kidd, the current user of the JIKI JIKI no Mi, that's in Elbaf, with Shanks, who was in Elbaf, by Gaban, who was also affected by the magnetic power of Captain John, doing incline presses, you know what I mean? So it's just like, Kid's coming back. Whether you like it or not, Kid's gonna come back, okay? But yeah, like I said, I like what Captain John was doing. I think he's really strong. I think his magnetic powers is really strong. I like to see what else he can do with it. I would honestly just be excited if, like, maybe if Captain, the moment Gonzui was about to flick his, like, he was about to flick his booger bomb at Shiki, Captain John probably stops him, like literally does like a track move on him, and he gets ready to attack. Like that would have been cool, you know what I mean? But who knows? Who knows? It's older story. We'll probably get to see. But guys, it's your boy Eustass. We're at the end of the video, man. I've been going on for 25 minutes. That was a rant. It wasn't it. But guys, thank you for the support. I got 26 subscribers from the last video. The last video I posted was the highest One Piece video I've ever placed on this channel. 1.6 thousand views. That was amazing. I really appreciate it. 1,600 views, man. And it was on a kid video. For someone who's so irrelevant, obviously he has fans and people like him, right? So I thank you guys for your support. I love you guys. I'll always appreciate you guys for supporting me. It's your boy Eustass, and you already know what I'm about to say. I'm out, man.